Hey guys, welcome to date night. We're changing things up a little bit. We're going to take it to the morning. We're going to make a brunch. Now, our city that we live in, we take brunch very seriously. And I'm going to walk you through how we do my breakfast hash. It's pretty easy. You need potatoes, peppers, onions, a couple spices. You can have a protein. We like to use Italian sausage for it. And then we add an egg on top and we bake it in the oven with a little bit of maple syrup on it. It's super great. But yeah, let's just get through it. So I'm going to start with my potatoes. You're going to cut these up in like small 1/4-inch cubes, which works real good for the potatoes and makes them cook very evenly as well. You don't want big chunks. Now, I started cooking breakfast in a few restaurants I worked at. Not really my thing, but I do enjoy making brunch at home. It's a little bit of a different style to it. You can make it a little bit savory and sweet, but you don't have to always go with just the basic eggs, bacon, and toast or pancakes. So this is my spin on the hash, which is great. It was inspired by my aunt who loves to enjoy cooking with me, which is real fun when she's in the kitchen with me. She was just like, let's change it up a bit, let's try something new. So I just decided to do a little bit of a hash, but with everything in it and baked in the oven with a little bit of maple syrup, and now it's the missus' favorite breakfast that I made. Potatoes take a very long time. They probably take about 25 minutes until they start getting soft. So as I'm doing this, I don't have to cook my proteins right away because it'll just be the off timing for it. So if you want to time it just perfectly, we're going to cut that. Now, my next step after this potato, I'm going to cut a couple onions, and then we're going to add them in with the potatoes. So I like to make a little few puns once in a while. Don't start with me. I'm going to cut this pepper as well. Same style here, you're just going to dice. Add that with the bowl. Now we're going to cut my onion here. I'm just going to do an easy dice. Onion and potatoes go really well together. Something that people would consider a classic. Has a nice flavor, it balances it out really well. Now, if you guys are vegetarian, you can just use spinach, is really nice with it. Maybe even fresh tomato on top, or pico de gallo if you like cilantro. But today we're using meat. Once that's all in the bowl, I'm just going to add it to my hot pan over here. So I'm just going to add a few spices. Obviously my favorite is garlic powder. We're going to add that. Add a little bit of onion powder. And a little bit of black pepper. You're going to use a little bit of oil today, but we're also going to use a little bit of butter. It just makes everything feel a little bit more smoother when people eat it. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter on top right now. And I'm going to let this steam for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add my secret spice to it I like to add. As that's going, I'm just going to cut my meat. I like to cut them in coin-sized pieces. Heat up my favorite pan is the cast iron, obviously. Just add a little bit of oil to it now. We don't have a lid that works, but this does work for steaming stuff, which is perfect. Right now I'm going to add my meat here. It's my Italian sausage we like to add, but my favorite part is this. And now that we know what I like to call the sizzle factor, we know everything is moving along just nice. Just a nice sound. Add my spices to it. So we've been steaming my potatoes and hash for about 20 minutes right now, and my sausage is done, so I'm just going to add it in, mix it all around, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then I can start building in the cast iron pan. Potatoes here are starting to get a nice color on the bottom of them, and as you can see, like, they're coming through really nicely like that. You don't want it too soft. Because if you get it too soft, it just falls apart. It doesn't hold the consistency that we want. Add that in. Make sure you get all the drippings in there too, its flavor. Starting to smell real good in here. Like 5 minutes and then go from there. So right now it's about ready to take off. Have some nice color on that. Potatoes look good. They look a little bit crunchy on the outside. It's been exactly what we want. The onions are a little translucent. I can see through them a bit. I know they're good. The peppers look nice and soft. The sausage is obviously cooked and all the flavors are together, which is perfect. Now I'm going to grab my cast iron pan. My oven's preheated right now at about 300 degrees. I'm going to turn it up 350. Turn up all of it. So now I'm just going to start building it. I made more so I can have leftovers, which is great. We're just going to reuse that cast iron. There's no need to clean it yet because we're obviously... So this is exactly what we want. We're just going to add a couple drip. This brings a really nice flavor to it. The salty and the sweet works really well. Give that a bit of a stir and then we're just going to throw it in the oven. So as this is going, now's the fun part. We gotta cook our egg. I like to do a nice sunny side up. Makes the presentation look real nice. I'm gonna use a little bit of butter for the pan. I like to cook butter with my eggs. I'm gonna get this butter all the way around, get it going. It smells so good in here. 2 eggs. So as you see, it's melting really nice. You want it hot. You don't want it not hot because otherwise the egg will just slide everywhere and half the egg will just be across the pan. We don't want that. We want it all together. Now we can add the egg. Perfect. Season our egg. Key to cooking eggs, people use spatulas. I like to use rubber spatulas. Same thing, but it just doesn't look. Spatula, rubber spatula. Easier to get right under it, I feel, without taking the whole egg. I want to separate these 2 eggs before they connect. Like that. And if you're not confident yet with flipping your eggs, you can always just throw a little bit of water in there and seal it. That way you still don't lose the color. It cooks the top fine. Oh, those look like eggs. Real good. Once these are cooking, make sure they don't get stuck together. Pull this one over here. Now I would like to rate this brunch, breakfast, or lunch any way you like it, but I would like to say it's 5 out of 5. Egg-tastic. What?
Nothing, that was just funny.
Ready to flip the missus eggs. Cook that for about 30 seconds. I'm going to grab my hash brown right now. I'm going to start dishing it up. This is pretty much the way that I like and the miss likes it. Go back over here. So as I'm plating this up, the egg, I just turn it off so I can easily just pour it on and then the egg will look really good as a nice finish. Avocado is also really nice in this. We've done that before. But we used that last night in our taco salad. We don't have any avocado right now, which is totally fine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or tell us what you think we should cook next. We'll definitely do that. We want to be cooking for you, not just us. Now to add a little finishing touch. I like hot sauce on mine, so that's what I'll add. A little bit of hot sauce goes a long way. Then a little bit more, just a slight drizzle on top. And there you go. Date night for breakfast. You get that?
No.
Oh.
Is it good?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Still probably needs like.
You recording still?
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
How do you stop it on this thing?
The record button.
Here?